50, 45. There goes Davis.
Oh, my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome on in, everyone, to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager. Today is Monday, September 23rd, 2024, and Elvis Week 3 is almost in the book, kid. What a Sunday it was. How the hell you doing today?
So I'm doing great. I'm still coming, off the bummer of a loss and the embarrassing loss in the Patriots the other night, Dale. But so far this Sunday has been profitable, so we're good.
Yeah, it's been a really good day for both of us with the prop wise. I mean, we got most of the spreads that we kind of predicted outside maybe the Panthers and the G-Men, which we'll talk about in a little. But yeah, I think a lot of dogs won, the 4 o'clock window, a lot of blowouts. Sunday Night Football is just about to kick off. And yeah, most of the games were good. We'll recap college real quick. Got a Monday night doubleheader, Jacksonville and the Bills. And we have the Commanders and who else? Who we had? Oh, and the Bengals. Bengals looking, I don't know why I was drawing a blank, but the Bengals and the Commanders. We got Monday baseball, only 4 games on the slate, short slate. I think we're down to 6-7 games left in the regular season. And the WNBA playoffs will continue. We got 2 games here on Tuesday. Asia Wilson wound up getting MVP. We'll talk about that in just a little, but I guess we'll start with the tail of the tape for Sunday. The G-Men, what a win on the road, 21-15. They almost blew it. They almost gave away this game late in the fourth quarter. But Daniel Jones, 2 back-to-back decent games, kid. What do you think?
You got to give. I know it was a rough. I can't emphasize the rough week 1 for Daniel Jones. Still, and we can't deny the fact that the kid has honestly bounced back. Today's game, he was, I'm not gonna say excellent, Dill, for Daniel Jones to how he played week 1. That was damn near a perfect game for Daniel Jones. To me, he ran the ball pretty good. 20 yards on the ground, 230 over the air, 2 touchdowns. Still, what's the key? No interceptions. He did get sacked twice, but nothing really too crazy. Never really put the ball in harm's way. And honestly, Malik Neighbors is the real deal.
Yeah.
He's showing right now while he was taking number 6. I know a lot of people wanted, JJ or, them to go a quarterback or something at number 6. But I said it since day one. Malik Neighbors could possibly be a life changer, not just for the Giants, but for this offense right now. So I love everything he's becoming so far. Devin Singletary ran the ball well as well. Surprising and great win for the G-Men. And for the other side, Deshaun Watson, I'm not going to kill him. All I'm going to say is that offensive line definitely needs to protect the man. 8 sacks. I never thought the Giants defense would get 8 sacks. To get 8 sacks on Deshaun. Deshaun didn't pay that bad. I understand he had 16 incompletions, but he was under duress all game long. He had a couple of nice completions to Amari Cooper. The Browns got to do something about that offensive line. Give credit to the Giants defense and Daniel Jones for playing a good game, but the Browns got to do something about that offensive line.
100%. And we talked about this offensive line coming into the season, thinking they were going to be a top 5, at least a top 10 in the league. And that was going to lead to some bounce back season for Deshaun Watson. But I could agree. I don't even think he played all that bad. He just had no time back there. They weren't really able to run the ball either with Jermaine Ford as well. Amari Cooper had a late stretch, catching a couple balls. He had the 2 touchdowns. But yeah, you're right. Malik Neighbors is as advertised. The kid is a stud. That is why you drafted him. He had some sick catches on the sideline as well. Outside of the fumble, I agree. I think Devin Singletary played. He ran the ball well. And yeah, big win on the road. I don't know where to go next here for this Browns team. This defense doesn't look good. You can't give up 21 unanswered points to the Giants. That just can't happen. Coming out of the game, fumbling the open possession, getting a touchdown to Amari Cooper on the first offensive play, and then you let up 21 answers. That's just unacceptable at home. So Yeah, tough loss for the Browns, but big win for the Giants. They get their first of the season.
Real quick, Dill,
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors becomes the first player in NFL history with 20 catches and 3 receiving touchdowns in his first 3 games of the career. The
Yeah,
kid's
our
special.
ticket. Yeah, the kid's special in our ticket is for offensive rookie of the year. Looking good so
Looking
far.
good, but Marvin's there. Marvin's there.
Yeah, Marvin is there. Who also is here? Malik Willis, 2-0 going on the road and winning
Gotta
13
respect
for
him.
19, dicing him up over 200 yards. He ran one as well, led the team in rushing. I mean, what can't this kid do? We had Jair Alexander had that pick 6 as well. Will Levis actually had 2 picks. So defense is showing up, and after that tough loss, Green Bay 2 in a row now.
Yeah, and you gotta give credit to Malik Willis. We saw that locker room interview the other day when he was like, "Oh, does this mean anything?" He's like, "Nah, it's nothing personal with the Titans. They pay me. I did what I did, and they released me. It's fine." And I guarantee today, Dill, this is honestly going to be the best win of his career. Maybe not, but it's a small chance when it's all said and done. This might be the best win of his career for his personal accomplishments. Dill, I gotta give credit. Malik, he doesn't put the ball in harm's way. I don't know if that's Matt Hewerflu, just being uh,
LaFleur.
LaFleur. I said Huberflus. LaFleur being just a good head coach, or just Malik Willis just maturing and growing in this game. So gotta give credit to him. To me, he played phenomenal. I understand
Yeah.
13 for 19, 200 yards. I understand it ain't. You're not about to pick up the fantasy, but the kid is 2-0 and he's out here winning games still. And he was a 3-point dog in this game. The
Yeah.
receiving core, I'm just glad it's still healthy. I understand, Romeo Dobbs, Jalen Reed, Christian Watson ain't really hurting you, Dill. But as long as that core stays healthy and Jordan Love, hey, now you can say, Jordan Love, take your time. Let Malik Willis cook because Malik Willis is out here winning games. So if I'm the Green Bay Packers, I wouldn't be rushing Jordan back. I let him sit back another week. And for Tennessee, Dill, personally, Will Levis didn't play horrible. Besides, that pick 6. Well, I'm gonna just give credit for Alexander. To me, he's just a stud, one of the best corners in football. Will Levis is gonna be a project deal. He has the potential, and we see the talent at times with the arm strength, and he can honestly run the ball as well. But he just has to mature, though. He just has to make better decisions.
Yeah.
And this Tennessee Titan team will be okay. Just it's just been a rough start.
I mean, he fumbled the ball as well with the strip, 2 interceptions. Kid, I understand he's a project, but he can't take care of the ball. This is a problem for him. And they have I agree. I see signs some incidents where I'm like, wow, that's a great throw, fitting it in a tight window. He has the arm strength. I don't doubt that at all.
Mhm.
I doubt his IQ and him reading defenses and his decision making when it's a crucial time. I just don't trust Will Levis with the ball in my hand. So until then, I really don't know where they're going to win. They're 0-2 at home now. He's running. He's taking a lot of hits. And Malik Willis, say what you want about him. The kid doesn't turn the ball over, and he plays a really smart game. I think it's a combination. I think it's him knowing the system and trusting his offense. And also it's Matt LaFleur as well. He doesn't put him in bad situations whatsoever, kind of like Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold we'll talk about in a little. But yeah, I think it's the coach, and I think it's the system as well. I mean, when have you known a bad quarterback to come out of Green Bay? I mean, you kind of knew this was coming.
Years.
You know what I mean? So you could kind of plug any, I don't want to say average Joe, but you could kind of plug any quarterback in there into that system, and they're going to have success. And we're seeing it now with Malik Willis. I agree. Don't rush back Jordan Love. He looked all right during pregame warmups, but there's no reason to rush the kid back. Malik Willis is winning games. Now, maybe if they were losing these games, okay, maybe you hit the panic button.
If they were 0-3, like the Tennessee, maybe I'd be like, okay, rush them back. But, they're doing just fine. And then just a small look ahead for week 4, Dill. They're playing the Vikings next week. So, you know what? You might want to bring Jordan Love back for, just because it's a divisional matchup. You might need that game at home versus Minnesota because down the road, you're going to have to go to Minnesota, possibly win a must-win game down the stretch in Minnesota. So, hey, might want to bring them back next week.
Bears 2 in a row now. They've lost by starting 0-1, 0-2 on the road. But Caleb Williams gets his first 2 touchdowns. He's the only rookie with a touchdown, 2 touchdowns actually now. He threw for over 300 yards. Much better game. Still 4 sacks, which I don't like to see. And he's still scrambling around for his life. But I'll say this. I know he didn't get the win, but I thought he played much better than Anthony Richardson. I didn't think Anthony Richardson played all that well. His QBR was 17%. I mean, decision-making as well. He turned the ball over twice as well. Thank God for fucking Jonathan Taylor, kid, because I don't think without him they would have won this game. Got to credit to the defense for the Bears. They did what they could to keep him in the game, but just a little too late for the Bears. I know they came on late, but Indianapolis holds on to win this one 21-16. Good win. Still concerned about Anthony Richardson, though.
Yeah, good win for the Colts. Like you said, Anthony Richardson, not what you want to see from your top 4 pick in the second year. 10 for 20, just a buck 67, 2 turnovers. That's not a good sign. You got the win, so you got to congratulate them on that. Jonathan Taylor, like you said, have himself a day. Last week he had a good week. Over 70 rushing yards. I knew the man was gonna be due for a touchdown deal, and look, he got 2 of them on 23 carries, a buck 10, and then you know if I'm the Chicago Bears, it's a tough loss, but at the end of the day, we finally you got to see what you wanted to see from Caleb Williams, and that was him making great throws down the field. Yes, honestly, he threw 2 picks. One was honestly bad, but that's just a rookie. He's gonna make these rookie mistakes. But the fact that he was able to throw for over 300, 360, you
Yeah.
know, complete 33 balls, throw 2 tutties, have multiple guys involved. Cole Kmet, 10 receptions. Rome, the rookie, 6 receptions. DJ Moore, 8 receptions. So I like the fact that multiple guys was getting involved. It wasn't just force feeding one guy. So only thing I will be still concerned about is the running game, Dale. This is 3 straight games
Yeah.
where DeAndre Swift and company just can't get the ball rolling. If I'm facing, Chicago, I gotta force them to, run the ball, Dale, because they can't get
Yeah.
the ball going. Sooner or later, Keller Williams is gonna get it. We just saw his first huge passing game. I understand he had the 2 turnovers still, but maybe in 6 weeks he's not doing the 2 turnovers. Maybe he's making smarter decisions. Maybe he's just throwing the ball away, sliding down. I think Caleb Williams would just be just fine. I think Chicago will be just fine. Defensively, they need to establish a run game ASAP.
Yeah, I think, and that all stems from a bad offensive line. They can't get anything going on the run because they don't have a good line. So, and he keeps running around. So they got to fix it quick. I don't know who they bring in. Maybe David Bakhtiari or someone. Maybe Kelsey off ESPN. But they got to bring someone in because I agree. I think we saw glimpses today. The rookie Roma Dunze, he had a great game. Cole Kmet. I mean, you have yourself a fucking day. DJ Moore. The ball. There's enough weapons, and that's without Keenan Allen. So I like what I saw from the offense. The offensive line is not good and the running game is not existent. I don't worry about their defense. I worry about their defense staying on the field long. That is the problem with Chicago and that team. But yeah, big win for Anthony Richardson and the Colts. I said we'd get to him. Sammy fucking Dimes. That's the kid, man. 17 for 28, 4 touchdowns, 119 QBR. Aaron Jones had himself a day over 100 yards. Justin Jefferson had a touchdown. Aaron Jones had a touchdown through the air. Jalen Naylor had a touchdown through the air. Johnny Mutt, everyone have a touchdown as well. I mean, Brian Flores and his schemes are confusing everyone right now. In Minnesota, we look like fools. This is the biggest one we've gotten wrong. We said under 5.5. They're laughing to the bank. They have 3-0 right now.
Yeah, Dale. Minnesota's just been
We
impressive.
didn't see this coming.
You got to give Sammy D credit. Another huge game, 4 touchdowns. Only a 181, but 4 TDs still. Have Sammy D ever throw 4 touchdowns in a game? Got to give credit to Kevin O'Connell. I said it, Dale. Houston Texans was at least impressive 2-0 team out there. And I said it, Minnesota is the dog of the week. I expected them to win this game. Aaron Jones ran the hell out of the ball. Like you said, Justin Jefferson, how you doing? The kid Naylor, you know. But Houston offensively, I knew they were gonna. I'm not gonna say struggle, but I just knew without Joe Mixon, this offense is gonna just stutter step at times. CJ Stroud threw the interception early. CJ Stroud threw two interceptions.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a rare occasion. I'm letting people know that right now. CJ Stroud throwing two interceptions in the game. That's gonna be very rare. So you got to give credit to Brian Flores, like Dylan said. Brian Flores has just been cooking this season. That's back to back games where he faced a potential MVP and made multiple turnovers and
Yeah.
double digit wins. 49ers last week with Brock Purdy, and then this week with CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. I can't say more about Brian Flores still. He's having a tremendous season. I'm not gonna be too worried about Houston. Their offense, I think like, they'll be just fine. Stephon Diggs finally had a huge game. Nico Collins is still there. Tank Dell. Like I said, I just feel like without Joe Mixon, this offense is just one dimensional. In the Vikings, was able to capitalize on that. So give credit to Vikings 3-0. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, another team we talk about run game and not having a run game with Chicago Bears. Houston Texans is another team. They just can't run the ball without Joe Mixon. I don't know what's going on there, but it is nice to see Stephon Diggs have a pretty good season so far. 10 catches, 94 yards. Nico Collins still in there. Tank Dell. So it is good. Outside of the two interceptions, they had 4 sacks as well. I mean, the scheme was just getting after it. Andrew Van Ginkel, he had himself a day, 5 tackles. Cameron Brain, 5 tackles and an interception. Harrison Smith was all over the field. I mean, this defense is flying around the field right now, kids. So, big win for the Vikings at home, 3-0. Who would have thought? What a game between the Eagles and the Saints. I'll say this. Very, very lucky, the Eagles. I mean, edging out a win on the road in a very hostile environment down in New Orleans. Jalen Hurts didn't really play all that well. I know he threw for over 300 yards. He did have that interception. He was sacked 4 times. Saquon was able to rush the ball, but when Devontae Smith went down, they just had Dallas Goedert. They are so thin at wide receiver right now. That broken play, 61-yard down to set up the touchdown late with about a minute to go. That's the game. I mean, 2 Saints run into each other, and that's the game, kid. 1 breakdown, and that's the game. Tough one to swallow if you're the Saints because you did enough to win the game. But I'll say this on the defense. Defense played a hell of a game. I know I criticized the Philadelphia Eagles, but they played a hell of a game. Not Bryce Huff. He stinks. He stinks. It's so good to see that. But Jalen Carter is a dog. I mean, every time he was on the TV, kid, he was in the backfield causing havoc. I love the little trash talk after the game. Reed Blankenship had a big interception late in the game as well. I'll give credit where it's due. The defense showed up today, but I worry moving forward. They have no one besides Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, moving forward, offensively they're a little thin, but they still got Saquon, they still got Jalen Hurts, and like you said, they still got Dallas Goedert. This goes out to the defense, from start to bottom, all the way down from Darius Slay, who honestly didn't really do much. He ended up getting hurt, to Zach Bond, you know, C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Kobe D. Like you said, Jalen Carter, who had himself a tremendous game. Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith Jr. Still, this defense finally showed up. Got to give him credit. This Saints offense damn near looked unstoppable for the first 2 weeks of the season. We saw what they did week 1. We saw what they did in Dallas last week. And the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles defense was able to go to the Little Caesars Dome, whatever it's called now, and stop this what it seemed to be a high-powered offense. Gotta give him credit. Derek Carr, he was lighting it up the first couple of weeks of the season. He looked like the old Derek Carr deal. Yeah. 14 for 25, 1 interception, 142 yards passing. Alvin Kamara ran the ball well. I hit that prop, but other than that, Chris Olave finally did have himself a game. But Raheem Shaheed, he missed 2 touchdowns. He honestly could have. I'm not gonna say dropped, but he could have caught, and they were just played well defensively. But he got to calm down with at least one of those. So give credit to the Eagles defense for sneaking out this win. They'll offensively, the Saints, I'm not going to panic, but Derek Carr I'm just saying he had a rough one. And then offensively for the Eagles, they'll Saquon, man, he made up for what he that drop ball last week against Atlanta. Two tutties, game winner. I understand Dallas got to have the big play, but without Saquon doing what he was doing, Saints walk away with a win.
Yeah, big win for the Philadelphia Eagles on the road. Tough environment. They were chatting before the game. They were chatting after the game. I love the intensity. That's what brings out the best in players. So, yeah, big win for the Eagles. We'll see if the Saints could bounce back. Justin Fields, baby, 3-0, and the Steelers, they keep on marching, man. I mean, this defense is fucking for real. Only 2 sacks, but Justin Herbert, Taylor Heineke, they were 5 sacks. I forgot with Taylor Heineke. They were under pressure the whole game. Only 2 sacks given up with this offensive line for Justin Fields. He had the 1 turnover, but outside of that, he had a nice touchdown to Calvin Austin. He had that. It was like a 55-yard slant or whatnot. Najee Harris ran the ball well as well. George Pickens had a nice catch. They do just enough with that defense to win the game. And right now, they can't take the ball out of Justin Fields' hand, man. They can't. They're 3-0.
Yeah, Dale. Justin Fields, like I said, I'm gonna keep saying this. He hasn't played well enough for the Mike Tomlin and the team to come out saying he's a starter for the remainder of the season. But he hasn't played bad enough to lose the job, though. He has to be the starting moving forward. Another pretty good game from Justin. That defense has been flying for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I understand Justin Herbert did go out with an injury. Hopefully, it's not in too serious. As soon as Tyler Heineke came in, that defense really started flying and lighting it up, Dill. But I can honestly say that I think the Steelers still would have won this game if Justin Herbert would have finished it. J.K. Dobbins never really got the ball really rolling. He had 2 monsters weeks 1 and 2. Quentin Johnson, give credit to him. He's definitely having a much better sophomore season than rookie season, but he didn't really do much though. Besides the touchdown, 2 receptions, 44 yards. Lad McConkey, 3 receptions, 44 yards. Still, I said it. I was like, if the Chargers want to go into Pittsburgh and sneak out a win, they're gonna need one of these outside weapons to step up, and I just don't see one of those guys stepping up and having a huge game. Give credit to the Steelers. They had a huge game from Najee Harris. 70 on the ground. Cordell Patterson as well. Calvin Austin the third, huge reception up the middle that kind of broke it open. Another pretty good game from George Pickens. Give credit to Mike Tomlin, the Steelers team. They're 3-0, and Justin Fields, like I said, playing pretty damn well. Not playing great, but playing well enough to keep his starting job.
Yeah, I mean, he's 3-0 right now, and it was the first turnover for that Pittsburgh offense this season coming in the second
And
half
it
of the
wasn't
game.
like it was a bad idea from
No.
Justin. It was a tip ball. I understand maybe it wasn't like the best throw. Maybe he could have just threw it somewhere else or just took off with it. But at the end of the day, I'm not blaming him or mad at him for that one interception.
No, and once Justin Herbert went out, I kind of chalked it up. I was like, I knew because I agree to a certain extent. Even with a banged up Justin Herbert, I still don't think they had enough to edge out when you saw how the game was going. So, yeah, when Tyler Heineke came in, I was like, oh, yeah, they're done. So we'll see how he is moving forward. But, yeah, big win for the Steel Curtain. They keep on rolling. Another surprise here on Sunday. Bo Nix, have yourself a day, kid. 25 for 36, no touchdowns, but he made great decisions, kid. He took no sacks. He threw for over 200 yards. He rushed for 47 yards and a touchdown as well. He got Cortland Sutton involved. Humphrey had 6 catches as well. So I thought it was an amazing game. The defense played great. 7 sacks on Baker Mayfield, just making him look average. 161 yards. He had a touchdown. Outside of Bucky Irvin, shout out my boy Bucky. I mean, getting us over the rushing yards. Chris Godwin had a good game. Outside of that, he really didn't do anything. The defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. Baker was average. The offensive line was bad. Got to give credit to Sean Payton and Bo Nix. They went on the road and beat a good Buck team.
Yeah, the Bucks honestly didn't show up. I didn't like the way that they came out from the rip. They came out flat. Baker didn't really look, let's just say, like he did the first couple of weeks. The running game finally was able to get it going. 91 as a team. Like you said, Irving had a nice outing. But to me, the story of the day was Bo Nix. He was a dual threat today. passing the ball. I understand he didn't throw for no touchdowns there, but 216 on the road against a pretty good Tampa defense. I'll take
It's
that, Dill. I
impressive.
respect it. I respect it as well. And then what he was doing on the ground, Dill, 9 carries for 47, and he ran it, that first touchdown to start the game, Dill. To me, he was impressive, Dill. He was poised. He didn't look like a rookie today. He looked like a rookie last week against Geno Smith. Dill, today he did not look like a rookie. Give credit to Sean Payton and this offense. They dominated this very good Tampa
Yeah.
team, who I think is pretty damn good. The Tampa
Mhm.
defense. We saw how they looked last week against Detroit, so I'm not gonna overreact, but maybe this is something that's gonna linger. Maybe Denver might be for real. Who knows? We might see Denver pop off 5-6 in a row like we saw last year with Russ.
Yeah, I
Who
got the
knows?
Jets next week. They ain't doing that. Come
Who said?
on, bro.
Who
Me
said?
and
Remember
the books.
Sean Patton? He had those comments when he got that job
And we
saying
blew them out with Zach
last year.
Wilson. What you think
Last
we're gonna
year.
do? What you think we're gonna do with Aaron Rodgers behind center?
All I'm
Beat him
saying
by
is,
30.
all I'm saying is Tampa's better than the Patriots. And boy, did the Broncos look good. But,
Oh, no.
give credit to Sean
Yeah.
Payton and the Broncos. I think this is honestly the most impressive win of week 3.
100%. I agree with that. And this was the Bo Nix we kind of saw during preseason, kind of lighten it up. Good decision making.
Yo.
No, honestly, like
I
he
know.
didn't turn the
It's so
ball
funny.
over. Like, and this is what I saw in preseason where I was like, you know what, this kid is good. I think he was scrambling well. The RPOs, the play calling from Sean Payton. I thought it was a well executed plan on both sides of the ball. So yeah, I think it's definitely the most impressive win. Or is it fucking Andy Dalton and the Red Rifle going on the road and beating the Las Vegas Raiders? I mean, how do you go back to Bryce Young after this? I mean, 26 for 37, over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, only sacked
Pick
twice.
him up in fantasy, people.
I mean, Chuba Hubbard came alive, 21 carries, 112 yards. He caught for 55 yards. He had over 160 total scrimmage yards. He caught a touchdown. Deontay Johnson had over 100 yards. I mean, this looks like a brand new offense. I believe in Dave Canales now. If this is the offense I'm going to see, I believe in him. But yeah, it sucks to be Bryce Young here today.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the announcement, though.
He needs to be traded, right?
Bryce Young, man, this is your last year in Carolina. So I was you, put your condo, put the penthouse, put the house on the market because you will be traded this offseason. That was enough, Dill. The fact that there's one thing to win a game, Dill, but we haven't seen this offense fire like this on all cylinders since Cam Newton won the MVP, Dill. Since this team went to the Super Bowl. That's how good this offense looks today, Dill. This Raiders defense, I understand it's not great. It's not all time, Dill, but it ain't a pushover. That wasn't a bottom 5, bottom 10 defense that Andy Dalton did this on, Dill. I think we got to give him credit. 26 for 37, 319s, 3 tutties, 0 turnovers. Chubb Hubbard, 114 on the ground. How you doing? Deontay Johnson, Dill, career day, 8 receptions, 122. Like you said, Chubbard had 55 on receiving as well. You had the young guy Xavier had a couple balls. Tremble, Mingo, Sanders, still the whole offense got involved. My boy Adam Thielen would have went for a buck as well, but he ended up getting out in the second quarter with a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
He caught a touchdown early, Dill. He would have went way over his total, 44 and a half. Kind of sick by it. Would have had a huge day, but it's okay, Dill. Deontay Johnson and company. Wow. Impressive, Dill. Impressive. And then on the opposite side, Dill, Gardner Minshew.
You got replaced late. Maybe they go and switch it with Aiden O'Connell, kid.
Who came in and honestly played well. 9
That's
for
what
12,
I'm saying.
82 yards with a tutty. Connor brought him back in the game. He hit Devontae Adams a couple of times, hit Brock. We'll see what moving forward with the Raiders. Maybe they go with O'Connell. We'll see. But you got to love what you saw from the Carolina Panthers today, Dale. And I'm going to say this. Brian Callis possibly saved his job with that switch, Dale, because we've seen, not saying he would have, but we've seen coach after coach after coach get fired after one season. And we saw with this move, I think he just secured his job for another year. And he thought it was amazing.
Bryce Young had 3 coaches in 18 months. I mean, how do you have any stability at that rate? So I agree. I think, I don't know about hot seat or losing his job, but I will say the ownership has no loyalty to these coaches. We
Dude,
saw we saw Frank Wright last year, 8 games and he was gone.
like you said, ownership have fired 3 head coaches in 18 months. Brian Callis was probably about to be 4 in what, 30 months?
Yeah. Well, I also think it was a story here. We talked about how bad the defense was, Carolina, their run defense. They were able to stop the run all day. Zamir White didn't do anything. Gardner Minshew didn't do. Alexander Madison came in and did nothing as
You see
well.
what
So,
happens when the offense takes the pressure off the defense? The defense doesn't need
yeah.
to be like, oh, we need to shut it down. They can't get a first because our offense is not going to do much. Andy Dalton gave them a 7-point lead. Raiders came down to score. Boom. Gave again 14-7 lead, Dill.
Yeah,
He
100%.
answered. That's what you need. You need that confidence booster. The passing game got going. Look what happened. Chubb Herbert. The running game got going.
I'll say this. I know we're very critical of Dave Canales, and rightfully so, but I think he did the right thing saving the locker room. You got
Yeah.
to give these guys a sign and be like, I believe in you, making the switch early and saying, we want to win football games. And Andy Dalton right now does give you the best chance. We saw it today, and he's better than Bryce Young. That it is what it is, but Bryce Young needs to sit.
And not for nothing, Dill. Not for nothing. Right now with this win and how well they play, it gives you confidence. This NFC
100%.
South is it's not like that. It's not like, oh, it's going to be a lock in. Carolina could screen, get these games together. They might be live. I'm not saying don't get hyped, Carolina. All I'm saying is if Andy Dalton plays like this, moving for that defense, never know.
Never
Never
know.
know.
100%. And let's go on over to Seattle, but the Pacific Northwest, the Seahawks dominated win. Great job on the call, -4.5. It felt like an easy play. Geno Smith, another good game. He did throw the 2 picks, but outside of that, I thought he did play good. Only 3 sacks, threw for 289 yards. Zach Charbonnet really developing as an RB1 with Kenneth Walker III being out. 18 carries for 91 yards. He had the 2 catches. DK had that long 71-yard catch early in the first quarter. He went for a $104 as well. But, as much weapons as Miami has with Akane, Tariq Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jeff Wilson Jr., they can't do anything without Tua and a competent quarterback. Skylar Thompson went down. He's another guy that's injury prone as well. Tim Boyle, they're on to their 3rd string. You see the frustration in Mike McDaniels as well. So that defense, I don't think the defense is bad. I just think they can't get off the fucking field. That's the problem. So tough loss for Miami, but I really don't see much changing, especially with your 3rd string quarterback.
Yeah, Dale. The only thing that can honestly change for Miami is Tyler Huntley. Is ready to go next week. I think that gives him the best opportunity to be competitive. Skylar Thompson, we know what he is. I'm not going to touch too much. It's just a shame if you're a Miami fan that you go from, let's just say week 1, just say high expectations to that.
Yeah.
I'll feel for them. As a Patriots fan, I feel for them. And not to touch too much on it, but Geno Smith, another solid outing. Like you said, the 2 interceptions. You can live with it on a day like this. A dominated win for a 3-0 Seattle team.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. They're running the ball. They're playing good defense. They got 5, 6 sacks on the day in Miami. So Seattle's flying high here. Off
Seattle
to 3-0.
cruising in that NFC West.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it, but, a couple teams out there lost.
Yeah, I mean, don't look now, 49er fans, but holy shit. Here come the Rams. No, I knew. I was watching it on the side. Don't worry. I kept it cool. Here come the Rams. I mean, 13 unanswered points in the 4th quarter, and they blow a 10-point lead, the 49ers, and the Rams come back and win 27-24 at home. And Brock Purdy played amazing, I thought. I mean, almost 300 yards. No, it wasn't his fault at all. I didn't really think they ran the ball all that well. But Jawan Jennings had himself a career day. But Tutu Atwell, Demarcus Robinson, but that defense forcing these turnovers. Here come the Rams, kid. Great win at home.
Still, what Matthew Stafford was able to do, I understand he didn't light it up. Curtis Williams still didn't have the yards still, but 24 carries, 89 yards, 2 tutties. He caught one as well.
3 tutties, yeah.
Two Atwell. I said, I was like, what they gonna? I was like, Tutu Atwell still there. Demarcus Robinson. The fact that this offense, the way it's structured, beat this 49ers team. Not just winning the game, but being down double digits and making a fourth quarter comeback on that defense. And we all know the Rams are the home team, but we know there's more 49er fans in that stadium than there are Rams fans. Still, Brock Purdy was amazing. I
Yeah.
think he bounced back great from that, Minnesota loss. 22 for 30, 290, three tutties.
He did have
Rating,
the fumble.
yeah, but Dill, he had a rating of 134, 137.
Yeah, I know. He balled out.
He balled out, Dill. This is a game where Kyle Shanahan in the DC has to go together and be like, what are we doing? It's one thing for Sammy D to light you up. Look what he did today. Sammy D's on a roll. That offense is on a roll. But the fact that Matthew Stafford and Curlin Williams was able to do that, we know they're one-dimensional, Deal. We know if Puka Nacua and Cooper Cup gave you, 150 yards in the fourth quarter combined, you can live with that. But to lose this game like this, still, that's a little concerning. Two back-to-back losses when you're over a 5-point favorite. 5.5 last week and then 6.5 this week, Dill. I'm a little concerned for this 49ers team. I understand no CMC, no Debo, no George Kittle. You're still talented enough to win this game. Great teams win this game. Honestly, fuck the covering. You got to win this game, Dill. You dealing with injuries, so are the Rams, Dill. Give credit to Sean McVay and this Rams offense for coming up huge in the fourth quarter.
I mean, 24 points should win you the game on the road. I don't think it was the offense. I think the defense didn't play well, and they were running it, like you said, to a Kareem Williams right down their throat, playing big boy defense. That's 2 weeks in a row now. They're giving up a lot of points here on this defense, so I worry here now for the 49ers, and it looks like they can't win on the road. They win week 1 at home in Santa Clara, last 2 games in Minnesota, in LA, and it wasn't like a true road game. You're right down the street. So on the road, it doesn't look good. I worry about this defense, kid.
And real quick, Dill, that week 1 win is looking more like an outlier just because the Jets team we saw week 2 and 3
ain't the same Jets team now.
Ain't the same Jets team we saw week 1, Dill. So if I'm the 49ers, I'm going to chalk that up. Like, you know what? If we see the Jets again, let's just say next week, I think the Jets take care of business now. So, not all seriousness, Dill, if I'm the 49ers, I'm not looking at week 1. I'm reviewing week 2, week 3 tape.
Yeah. 100%, but big win for the Rams, and they're still alive. It's all in the flush now. 1 and 2, they are tied with the 49ers in that division. Let's go out to Arizona. I thought it was going to be a shootout, if I'm being honest, but in the second half, everything went dull. I mean, they didn't score a single point, but they did get the win. They did just enough. Jared Goff in that offense. David Montgomery had himself a game, 23 carries, 105 yards. I thought, to be honest, Ben Johnson in this Detroit Lions, they got away from the run game the last 2 weeks, and I'm glad they stuck with it. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a nice game. Sam Laporta being carted off fucking sucked. But Aiden Hutchinson comes in with a big sack to kind of clear the game for Detroit. Marvin Harrison, back-to-back good games, another touchdown. They really weren't able to run the ball against this front seven, which I guess I kind of expected. But Kyler Murray didn't play all that bad, just 1 sack. He threw for over 200 yards, but good defense. On the road, it's a big win for the Lions after losing last week.
Yeah, Dill, this is what I want, exactly what I wanted to see from this Lions offense, Dill. We saw, Jared Goff drop back too many times. What we saw this week, Dill, 43 combined rushes. Well, let's just say 42 because the knee. But 40 combined rushing attempts as a team. 23 from Montgomery, 16 from Jamar Gibbs. They'll combine to give you 188. Still, that's a recipe for success. You dominate time of possession. You have Jared Goff step back, hit him with the play action. Amon St. Brown finally had a huge game, 7 catches, 75, 1 tutty. Sam Laporta, hopefully he's okay. Dill, not looking good, but hopefully it's just a couple weeks, nothing too crazy. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. Dill, Jahmyr Gibbs has all the talent, But David Montgomery is just a steady guy, Dale. You can't blame him for them he's being the RB1, and it looked like he's gonna continue being the RB1. And Jameer Gibbs is just that X factor. And then with the Cardinals, Dale, like you said, Kyler, I think he played pretty damn well. Honestly, it's just the running game was non was non-existent. The fact that Kyler Murray led your team with 45 rushing yards, the next closest James Conner with only 17, that's a problem. That's a huge problem right there. I think the Cardinals will be just fine. Defensively, they're playing good. Offensively, Kyler's been looking pretty damn good the first 3 weeks of the season. If he can stay healthy, the Cardinals team might be something. But shout out to the Detroit Lions. Great bounce back win. Jared Goff not looking as good as he did last year, Dale. But I'm glad to see the running game get it going again.
Big win for the Ravens, going on the road in Dallas to take care of the Cowboys 28-25. They almost blew it, to be honest. 19
Yeah,
unanswered
yeah.
points. But yeah, 379 yards from Dak, no interceptions. But again, this is another team that just cannot run the ball to save their life. I mean, they tried to put Rico Dwaddle in there. Zeke really didn't do anything. Deuce Vaughn couldn't really do anything. Jake Ferguson had a good game. CD was kind of quiet the first half. He kind of turned it on late. He fumbled. He was kind of frustrated. We'll talk about that in a sec. But what a game. What a defense played well in the first half. Kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit, almost blew it. But now Lamar Jackson against the NFC is 21-1. He does not lose in the end to the NFC. What a game. 12 for 15, 181 yards, 139 QBR. He had the one touchdown to Rashard Bateman. He rushed for 87 yards as well. And Derrick Henry. This is why you go out and get Derrick Henry. 25 carries for 151 yards, 2 tutties. The guy's a fucking menace. This was vintage King Henry game.
Yeah, Dale. Let's start with Derrick Henry, Dale. I said it. I was like, I expect a huge game for Derrick Henry just because he didn't sign with Dallas. We all know he wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy, and for some reason, it's honestly ironic that the Dallas Cowboys, one, didn't offer him a contract, and then you lose this game for one, Derrick Henry having a huge game, and two, your running game being non-existent. Derrick Henry, 25 carries, 151, 2 tutties still. The over 66.5 was the lock of the week. Anytime touchdown lock of the week. Lamar Jackson, honestly, Dale, he was great. He was good, not great. He could have been.
I think that's unfair.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't turn the ball over. He's not going to light you up, but 12 for 15. He took care of the ball. He spreaded it out, and he didn't take any sacks. I thought Lamar played really well. I think that's unfair. He could have
spread it out a little better, Dale. Besides that one huge play to Nelson Aguilar when he broke the tackle, there wasn't really anything he did that was amazing besides running the ball. I still want to see this offense flourish without the running game. I need bigger games from, Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, another 0-for-0 game, 0 yards, 0 receptions. I just need to see the offense and that passing game be more consistent, Dale. Yes, great win. The running game was amazing. You had what? 274 yards on the ground combined as a team. That's going to win you a lot of games, Dale. But what do the Baltimore Ravens want to be? Champions, Dale. For you to be champions, you're going to have to be a little more consistent in the passing game and 182 yards. It's not going to do it consistently, Dale. Like you said, they almost blew this game. Give credit to Dallas for coming back. Dak Prescott, fighting effort, but they just couldn't do enough against that defense in the first half.
We saw a little frustration at the end of the Cowboys game as well. Back-to-back regular season home loss for the Cowboys. First time since 2017. I mean, are you worried about this offense moving forward? That's 2 in a row now for the Cowboys.
Yes, just because, the Ravens did, let's just say, took their foot off the gas a little bit defensively.
And like you said, real quick, they were one-dimensional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that says even worse about their defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll be a little more concerned about the defense still than the offense, just because, you still got CeeDee Lamb there. Jake Ferguson came back, Tolbert is playing well. Brandon Cooks is there. It's just a running game. That's the issue right now. They didn't address the issue in the offseason, a la Derrick Henry, but it is what it is. Defensively, they just can't get after the quarterback. We saw week one that was a success, but we see how bad the Browns offensive line is. So was it the defense or was it the Browns offensive line? Last week, Derek Carr looked like a superstar. This week against the Eagles, he looked like 2019. So it all depends, still. It all depends, but I think the Cowboys, just give it a few more weeks. I think they'll be just fine, but I will be a little concerned just because I let up back to back 28 plus points in my home turf.
Yeah, defense has to pick it up, and I think the offense has to play and come out not like they do in the second half.
And real quick, that's two back to back when a running back has multiple touchdowns. Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara had what, like four, four last week.
By the way, I forgot to mention, we hit Jair Alexander over 1.5 picks, and we also hit, I think it was Jalen Johnson having a pick as well. So yeah, we hit that. Jalen Hurts, he didn't play well as well. I had a note on that as well, but overall though, really good week 3 for me. I go 7-3. The teaser fucked me because the Bucks and the Cleveland Browns winded up losing, so the teaser was dead from the get. But yeah, Bucky, he went over. Stephon Diggs went over. Michael Pittman went under. David Akane, he went over. Lamar went over. The Ravens won. Chargers lost. Javonte Williams, he didn't go over, and Wan'Dale Robinson actually had a big catch, so that went under. So 7-3 on the day, kid, up 3 units, and we got 2 plays for Monday Night Football. How did you do here in week 3?
Yeah, I went 7-1 straight up on just straight bets, but I went 0-2 on the teasers. So 7-3 on the day. I'll take it. Adam Thielen, he would have went over his mark. We went under his 44.5. He had 40 yards in the first and a half quarters. He left the game with an injury. He would have went over that one. And then, like I said, the 2 teasers fucked me. I had Tampa in one and Cleveland in the other. But, Derrick Henry anytime touchdowns hit. Derrick Henry over 66.5 rushing yards hit. Seattle minus 4.5. That was my lock of the week. To me, that should have been a higher spread. I said get him up to 9.5. Minnesota dog of the weekend. Pittsburgh on the money line. Alvin Kamara over 64 rushing yards, and then over under 46.5, 43.5, 44.5 for Chicago in the game.
I mean, how good does it feel to finally have a nice week, right?
Yeah, especially week 2. Week 2, I should have went 8-7-1, or no, 8-7. But a couple pushes. Cam Akers fumbling at the goal line. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. And Brian Robinson, he went over and then he caught a ball and then went under. So
that was just the luck you were having. You were due for some positive regression, and thankfully you are over 500. And hey, we got 2 doubleheader here on Monday as well. We'll get to that in just a little. But over the weekend, college football, we had a good slate. I mean, didn't do well. I went 5-6, but hit 2 dogs outright. Like I said, Illinois plus 8.5. They win outright. Dylan Raiola keep trying to beat Patrick Mahomes. Stanford, big win on the road against Syracuse as well. Ohio State takes care of business at home. Tennessee, I'll give it to them. They're legit. Going on the road in Norman and beating Oklahoma like that. The kid is for real as well. The running back, I think his name's Deontay Thornton Jr., he's really good as well. Sampson, the running back, he rushed for over 92 yards. So yeah, Cam Ward, I mean, Miami continues to roll. They're 4-0. They beat South Florida by like 40. Got to give them credit where it's due. Big win up north by the Trojans. That pains me to say, but they played big boy football. And that last drive with 3 minutes left, just running the ball 20-something times. I mean, that's big boy football, and USC just couldn't stop the run. So, yeah, impressive win, I guess. Utah, Zach Wilson, his brother, I think his name's Isaac Wilson. He came and started for Cam Rising. Cam Rising hurt his hand on a water bottle cooler, some bullshit like that. But Isaac Wilson, Zach Wilson's brother, came in 17 for 29, 200 yards, touchdown. He went to Oklahoma State and beat them 22-19. I thought that was an impressive win. Another outright dog, BYU +8. They beat 13 ranked Kansas 38-9 at home. It was never a game, kid. But by the way, I hit that 2-leg parlay, Illinois outright, and BYU was +980. Two money line dog parlay. So overall, it was a really good. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you were up late. Great comeback win for the Buffaloes in Colorado. I mean, Shador, and also what a flex going into the locker room and then bumping your own song by Shador Sanders. That's a flex, kid. You go out there in overtime and win, and then go into the locker room and bump your own song. I mean, what a flex. How did you do? Oh, by the way, Virginia Tech, dead to me. I fucking hate that team.
Yeah, I went 1-1 deal. I took took the Rutgers against Virginia Tech +3.5. They won outright. And then I took Cal against FSU. Give credit to FSU, first win of the season, but they're still trash in my opinion. I don't care what nobody says. Only 14 points in the home game. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, that was not good at all. What else? Iowa, big win on the road. I thought that was impressive win going into Minnesota and winning. But yeah, overall really good weekend. Texas Tech big win at home. College football is in full swing, kid. We got some good games coming up next week as well. But before we get to this Monday night doubleheader, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or an elderberry watching Monday Night Football, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. Monday Night Football. We have a doubleheader. They're kind of close in time. We'll start with the earlier game in Buffalo. Bills hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. The 0-2 against the 2-0. Buffalo laying 5.5 at home. Money line -245. Comeback for the Jaguars +210. Over under is at 45.5. Now the total opened up at 49. It's come down a few points. I agree with the line movement, but the spread's actually going the other way. It opened up at 5. It's at 5.5 now. Money coming in on Buffalo. Do you agree with the line movement, and how do you play in this game, kid?
Yeah, I honestly do. Buffalo's been real dominant the first 2 weeks of the season. And not just the offense, so the defense has been the dominant part. So, and I agree with it, but I'm gonna lay it. I ended up getting 4.5 early on. I still like the 5.5 though. I do think Buffalo win this game by a touchdown. Uh, Jacksonville just been struggling to me. Dougie P, Trevor Lawrence. I don't know what's going on offensively, but it hasn't been impressive. Higsby, Travis Etienne looking like he's been getting more of the touches ever since Etienne had the fumble issues week 1. Christian Kirk not really doing much. Gabe Davis possibly a revenge spot for him coming back to Buffalo, but I doubt it. No Evan Ingram once again. This offense has just been struggling a little bit without him there. So I'm gonna go with Buffalo -4.5. I think they win by a touchdown.
Even if Trevor Lawrence, I feel like, plays like trash, because I don't think he's played all that well this season. They did held on to a road victory against the Dolphins. I don't know, say what you want about that, but they were shut down in ugly game against the Browns, which doesn't age well right now. I don't know. I think maybe they can have some success against this Bills defense, who I like them. I just think they're a tad overrated, and they're dealing with some injury right now. Jacksonville, they are successful on the run. They rush for 127 yards per game, 5.5 yards per carry. That's the 7th best number in the league. Bills, they give up around 131 yards rushing per game, 4.5 yards per carry. And now they're without Terrell Bernard, one of their best linebackers already. We know about Matt Milano. And on the other side of the ball, I just think the Bills are so heavily reliant on the run game They're rushing the ball 57% of the time, Joe Brady, in that offense. So I don't know. I do think the Jags defensive front is better than what the Bills have faced. Better than the Cardinals front seven. And I think they're better than the Dolphins front seven. They're holding their opponents to 3.8 yards per carry on the run. So they could stop the run. And if they could force Josh Allen to try to beat them with the young receiving core that they have, I don't know. I think I'm going to take the number, kid. I'm going to take the Jags plus 5.5 here. I think they could keep this one close. As for the total, I lean under. We definitely didn't get the best number. Like I said, it opened up at 49. It's down to 45.5. Two run heavy offenses. Time's going to click off the clock. There's also a strong chance of rain during this game as well. Wind could also affect both teams' ability to throw the ball. So, yeah, I'm gonna lean under, but I wouldn't play it. We got a bad number. But any thoughts on the total?
Yeah, they also lean the under just because, like you said, the front seven for Jacksonville is solid. It's pretty good at times. And then defensively with Buffalo, I think that's been the story for them so far. That defense has been playing at a very high level. And offensively, Jacksonville has been struggling. And then, I understand James Cook had that huge, 3 touchdown day against Miami deal, but the offense scoring wise, Buffalo hasn't been tremendous. Josh Allen really hit you with a 300-yard plus game. None of these
Yeah.
wide receivers hasn't really, be like, oh, okay. No, they haven't really hurt anybody offensively, but they're getting the job done, Dill. So I honestly lean the under, maybe like a 21-17 game, something like that.
Any player props here? Because I know you are leaning with Josh Allen and the Bills. You got the kid Keon Coleman as well. Any props you lean here for Monday Night Football in the first game?
Yeah, Dale. Like I said, Christian Kirk been struggling. No Evan Ingram. Brian Thomas, the rookie, he's been balling pretty damn good,
Yeah.
if you ask me. 43.5 receiving yards. I feel like that's a short number. I might take his over come tomorrow. Not taking it official yet, but I definitely lean his over. And then, like I said, Dale, James Cook had that huge game against Miami. To him to get anytime touchdown at plus 115, I think it's worth the biscuit, Dale. And then his rushing yards as well. Like I said, he's been having a good season so far. Like you said, Brady's been running the hell out the ball. Kind of a run first offense, you
Yeah,
could say now.
surprisingly.
I think 62.5 yards might be a little short. Don't get me wrong, Jacksonville defensive front is a little stronger, Dill, but Buffalo at home, I know they're gonna want to control time of possession, let that
Mhm.
defense work. I think they hit the ground running hard with James Cook.
I was looking at Keon Coleman. I was looking at 2.5 receptions. It's a little chalky at minus 145, but I know he was shut out last week against Miami, but they ran the ball with James Cook so much and they were up. So the prop was kind of dead at that point. But first week against Arizona, 4 catches, 51 yards. I think in a lot of I think in incidents here against secondary that's not as good as their front seven, I think there's a lot of opportunity here for Keon Coleman. So I was leaning his receptions over 2.5. It's a little chalky though. I don't know if I'll get to the window, but it's sitting at minus 145. Anything else here before we get to the second game?
Now that's all, dude. I do like James Cook. Might take one of his props to the window, either the 62.5 rushing yards or anytime touchdown. Probably take the anytime touchdown plus 115. And then, like I said, Brian Thomas, his over under at 43.5. I feel like the number is a little short.
Yeah, that number seems a little small here. Let's go out to Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio. Bengals looking for their first win of the season. Commanders are in town. Bengals laying 7 at home, minus 325 on the money line. Take back on the Commanders plus 290, plus 7.5. Actually, I see 7.5s out there, so shop around. Over under is at 46.5. Another total where, opened up at 48. It's come down to 46.5. I see 47s out there as well. So shop around for the best number that you like. But how are you going to play this one, kid?
Still, to be honest, I do expect Cincinnati to take care of business. I'll lean the 7.5. I wouldn't be shocked if they win this game double digits. I think they're due for a win, and they're gonna show out. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins is finally back in the lineup. I feel like their offense might fire on all cylinders come tomorrow night. Um, I honestly lean the 7.5. Though I honestly might take it, but you know what? I'm gonna just play it safe. I'm gonna take on a player prop official for the game deal. I'm gonna take the young bull. Forgive me if I butcher the name. Olivas, over 26 and a half receiving yards. Andrew Olivas. I feel like the number's too short. He had 2 touchdowns last week. I understand he didn't get the yards. I think he only had 11 week 2, the 26 week 1. But I feel like the kid is gonna get rewarded. Joe Burrow is honestly a little comfortable with him and gained his trust. You get 2 touchdowns last week, Dill. I think you get at least 5 targets. I say 45, 50 yards from the kid.
Yeah, I lean Bengals here. Maybe put them in a parlay. Bengals, Bills, maybe something like that. Maybe something with Sunday Night Football or Thursday Night Football between the Giants and the Cowboys. But I think the Bengals are the right side. I don't know if I'd lay it, but I do like them in maybe a teaser or a parlay piece. No opinion really on the total. I lean over. I actually disagree with the line movement going under. Opened up at 47. It's come down to 46 and a half, 47. I think we see a shootout actually. I really don't trust Washington's defense at all. And I think, getting T. Higgins back fully healthy, a wide receiver core, Joe Burrow finally looks good. I think we could see some points from both teams here. So I disagree with the line movement. I do lean over. Any opinion on the total?
Honestly, Dill, Cincinnati could score the runs just because we know Washington defense is not good. Can Jalen Daniels and that offense show up? He's been out of all the rookies, he's been playing the best so far. Caleb Williams and Bo Nix showed up week 3. Can Jalen Daniels show up week 3 and have his best game so far of the season? I'm not sure about that, Dill, but I honestly lean the under. I think Cincinnati was gonna put up the points. I just don't see Washington getting near 20. If they do, shit, I'm shocked.
That's fair. Let's go over to the player prop market because that's where I have my first official play. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow over 1.5 passing touchdowns, minus 145. We saw much better performance from Burrow in week 2 than we did in week 1 against the Patriots. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns and 258 yards against one of the best secondaries in the league. Now getting a Commanders defense who, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of looks like the defense, it's kind of struggling to adjust to a Dan Quinn's defense so far through 2 weeks of the season. So Commanders, they're dead last in EPA allowed per dropback, 31st in opponent success rate per pass. Their secondary is atrocious right now. So, we watched Baker Mayfield and Daniel Jones collectively 128 passer rating in the opening 2 games. Those 2 quarterbacks threw for combined 6 touchdowns against this defense. We know what Dan Quinn loves to do. He loves to blitz, bringing that extra pass rusher. They blitz at the 4th highest rate in the 2 opening weeks of 2024. And traditionally, Burrow has been one of the better quarterbacks at punishing blitz-heavy attacks, getting the ball out quick. This Bengal team is still 0-2. Say what you want. They should have won week 1, but they didn't. I think they're hungry for a win. Like I said, they get T. Higgins back. I think this is a great spot for Burrow in this offense. I think they're going to put up points. We saw him do it against a much better defense in Arizona. And look how he played. He played against 2 of the best secondary. Say what you want about the Pats, but they do have a good secondary. And he played against Kansas City in a very good defense as well. So over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And another one I might get to the window. Welcome back, T. Higgins. Anytime touchdown. He gets one of his favorite targets in the red zone. He's a big guy, 6'4". He scored 24 touchdowns in 4 years for the Bengals. He has a great connection with Joe Burrow. In his first game back, I think he's going to look to feed the kids. So anytime touchdown, T. Higgins and Joe Burrow over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
I like it. They all like it because that's a good combo. If T. Higgins hits, Joe Burrow hits. So I like that.
Anything for you for player prop wise?
Yeah, I took an Andrew Alvas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was your official play. My fault.
Yeah,
I did
over 26 and a half receiving yards. Like I said, the number's a little short. He doesn't have a ton of yards, Bill, but I think the kid will get rewarded for the 2 touchdowns last week and a huge win. Well,
all
huge
right.
loss.
Yeah, and hopefully, kid, should have got the win, and hopefully there's no PI call at the end of this game. But kid, good luck here tomorrow on a Monday, and hopefully, we end week 3 here on a positive note. let's go on over to the Diamond. Only 4 games here on a Monday, but before we do that, kid, we forgot to talk about it last time, and I wanted to give him his flowers. Shohei Ohtani, man. I mean, what a season he's having. Kid, there's a lot of people who have just started watching baseball. You and I have watched baseball for over 20 years. We've played baseball for over 10, 15 years. I've never seen anything like it. I'm just being 100% transparent with you. What he's done, I mean, 55 stolen bases, 53 home runs. He's batting over 300, and there's a chance he might pitch in the postseason. I've never seen anything like it, kid. I think he might be the best player I've ever seen in my life, honestly.
He's definitely the greatest player we ever seen. He might be the greatest player of all time. I understand some people don't want to give him that title, but the man is coming off a 50-50 season. First whole time, maybe the last time we see it all time. And we know when healthy, he's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, though.
Yeah.
It's not like he's like, a good reliever or just somebody, fourth starter. No, he's an ace. He's a top two guy coming out the starting lineup deal. So the fact that he could be your ace and then also lead off and hit 300 for your team, that's just
We've never seen that.
that's crazy. So
Yeah.
I understand some people want to be like, no, he's the most talented and the greatest baseball player of all time.
Yeah.
Right now, a guy's not going to be the ace, hit 50 home runs, steal 50 bases, and hit for 300. He's not going to be the ace for your team pitching and then also be the leadoff hitter or your cleanup hitter for your team. That's
Yeah.
who he is.
100%. I just wanted to give him his flowers. He's going to win the NL MVP.
And real quick,
yeah.
no, he's not. He shouldn't get an MVP.
So Lindor should get it.
I'm not saying who should and should. I'm just saying he shouldn't get the MVP. I don't know who should win it. All I'm saying is he should not win the award just because to me the MVP, the most valuable player, steps on the field. Shohei Ohtani is a designated hitter. If he would have pitched this season, and let's just say he would have had a 5 ERA, 10-10 deal, he's the MVP deal. But the man never stepped on the pitching mound, never took right field, never took center, never took left, never took first. That's not an MVP deal.
That's a crazy take. I don't think I've heard that.
That's a great take, though. The most valuable player steps on the field. He helps your team,
but he does help the team.
and offensively.
Yeah,
no, I'm not saying he don't. That's the thing. I'm not saying he don't. All I'm saying is the most valuable player helps your team offensively and defensively. And simply, he was not on the field defensively.
Well, thankfully, we will see him eventually on the mound, and
that's why I said though he could have had a 5 ERA and went 500, 10-10 record. He would have won the MVP deal. But the fact that the man never stepped on the field defensively, I think that would be a slap in the face for every player who played both sides during the field.
He does have the highest WAR. Like, he's worth a lot of wins.
I'm not denying that, Dill. I'm not denying that. But how could you sit there and tell me he's the MVP over 90 players who hit and took the field?
Just because we haven't seen it. Like, and I get it. He doesn't play defense because he's hurt right now. But I think offensively, it kind of makes up for it this season that he had.
I'm not denying it, though. He was amazing.
Yeah.
But the MVP.
Well, he is going to get it, regardless of what you and I think.
If he does get it, I think that's a bad look for baseball.
I love the take, honestly. All right, 4 games on the slate for Monday. No odds here for the Philly game. They're playing Sunday Night Baseball as we record this, and usually we like to fade the team that plays Monday night anyway. Travel spot as well. So I was gonna look to fade the Philadelphia Phillies regardless, especially against Justin Steele, who I think is really good. But there's 3 games that we have lines on, kid. Your Boston Red Sox are on the road playing the Toronto Blue Jays. Technically, you're still alive.
Technically, we're still alive, so that's the way I'm going. Give me Hulk and the Red Sox on the money line, plus 100. Called it earlier on minus 104. I even love it at plus money. And to be honest, still, I'll lean the over 8. I think we'll be able to score some runs on the road. Francis and this Toronto's team, they just not it. Don't get me wrong, the Red Sox been, let's just say, fading since the All-Star break
Yeah.
deal, but we're the better team. Give me the Red Sox plus money.
Yeah, something to fight for. I would take the plus money as well. They just haven't looked good, Toronto, right now. They've kind of seemed like they checked out mentally. I think there's only like 6 or 7 games left. They've lost 4 of their last 5. They've hung up 0, a goose egg twice in the last 3 games. So offensively, I don't know if they could get it going. So yeah, I do lean the Red Sox here on the road. And like we said all season, Red Sox do play better away from Fenway than they do at home. And then the other one that I kind of had an opinion for, I lean over 7.5 in that Mariners and Astros game. You got Bryce Miller going on the road and Hunter Brown going for the Astros. Bryce Miller's been amazing at home, but on the road, he is susceptible to give up some hits, especially against a top 5 offense in Houston Astros. So they're rolling right now, 8-2. They're playing amazing baseball going into the postseason. I mean, just look at the numbers that even in a loss here on a Sunday, I mean, the numbers that they're able to put up offensively, they in the last 3 games, they put up 27 runs, 8, 10, and 9 runs to Houston Astros. And granted, it was against the LA Angels, but at home against Bryce Miller, who gives up a lot, I think we could see a high scoring game. So over 7.5. Even the Mariners, look at the last few games they've played: 6-5, 11, 8-4, 8-2. They've gone over in 3 straight games, and on the road, 43-30. So 2 over teams, 7.5 seems very low. So yeah, I'm gonna lean over here as well. That's all I really had. Didn't want to touch the Giants and the the Arizona game, but by the way, I got news from Adam Schefter. I didn't get news. He tweeted news. I wish I was plugged in like that. But
my
no,
sources tell me.
No, Adam Schefter just tweeted good news for Detroit. Sam Laporta just sprained ankle. Nothing too serious. So he'll be out a few weeks. Yeah, ice it up. Level elevation and all. But kid, let's go to the WNBA playoffs. I mean, first, Asia Wilson, unanimous MVP. We've talked about it for months now. We said she was going to run away with it. She's been the best player in the world. I sent you the list of, the voters and who got first, who got second, and all the second place voted. Nashisa Collier, she got 66 second place votes. Brianna Stewart got 294 votes, but rookie Caitlin Clark, 130 total votes for the MVP. She got 4th as a rookie against great girls: Alyssa Thompson, Sabrina Ionescu, Khalil Cooper as well. I'm kind of mad that she didn't get any first or second place votes. I'll save that for a different day, but she got first team all WNBA, unanimous rookie of the year. She did struggle here in her first playoff game on the road. I'll say that, but hell of a career, a hell of a first season for Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, like I said, to me, in general, this is one of the greatest seasons, if not the greatest season in WNBA history. We've seen Angela Reese, a rookie, set the all-time rebound record and rookie record. We see Caitlin Clark set the all-time 3 points for rookie, assists for all time for WNBA in the season. Then we see Ajay Wilson, MVP, first 1,000 point season deal. To me, it was just a win for the W, and it's just gonna be an exciting, season moving forward. Multiple years with Caitlin Clark, Angela Reese, Wilson right now in their prime, and then look what's coming next. You got Paige Buckers from Connecticut, who's gonna be a problem. You got I forgot her name, but I think Wilson from USC. She's gonna be
Juju Wilson.
She's gonna be a dog deal. So I feel like the WNBA game is just evolving and it's gonna get better year on from here.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, Connecticut, they roll. They cover the 6.5 against Indiana. Like I said, Caitlin Clark struggled here in her first game. Liberty, they roll. I mean, I think they're going to really sweep Atlanta. Big comeback win here for, not comeback, but comeback and cover for Phoenix. They were kind of rolling Minnesota here at home, but they kind of let Phoenix hang around, and they do cover the 10 as well. We got 2 games here. No games on Monday, but we do have 2 games here on Tuesday. Only one spread. New York Liberty Lane, 12.5 again at home. 156 is the total. Any opinion here for Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm gonna lay with Liberty. They look so dominant today against the Dream, and I think they'll do the same come Tuesday night. I think they want to get this series over with in New York, so end it early.
Yeah, ended early. I mean, how can you fade how can you fade the Liberty right now? I think they're playing the best basketball out of anyone. So yeah, hard to not roll with them here. But yeah, kid, that's gonna do it. Good luck on Monday. Any last words before we get up out of here? Big week 4 in NFL. Thursday night, we got the Giants and the Cowboys.
Yeah, Dale. I'm just happy we both of us was in the green by the time I showed up. You've been carrying us so far. Atlanta's up early 7-0, Dale. Let's get into that game and let's just have an exciting week.
100%, kid. Well, good luck, everyone. God bless, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday.